Aloha kākou apau. Greetings once again. I'm Kaiopua Fife with the Kiwani Foundation, bringing you another segment of Voices of Truth, one-on-one with Hawaii's future. This segment is coming to you from Kailua Kona and Moku Keawe, and we're very pleased to have with us today Junior Kanuha. Junior, aloha.
Aloha kākou.
Greetings, greetings. Happy that you could spend some time with us today in this very special place. You want to give us a little description about where we are?
We're here in Hololoa 1, which is Ke'olanahihi Heiau. Very sacred place for us. This place is 13 acres. It is separated by walls. This place has a lot of significance of our beliefs and our culture and traditions. We're here on the shoreline of Ke'olanahihi, which is something that has been sitting here for 23 years and no one has taken charge of this. Mm-hmm. So it's time for us to take charge and continue to malama aina. And as you can see, we have come a long ways from what it was and to what it is right now. And with the help of the people in the community, we could continue to preserve this area for the futures of our people and the children, inclusively educating all our children.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that it's been, the amount of work that's been done here in the past, couple of years has been just tremendous. This entire area that we had to walk through even to get here prior was almost impassable, almost impossible to get through. You could come around on the shore sometimes, walk over the rocks, but inside, the actual body of the compound here was just totally inaccessible, which may have been a good thing, though, to some extent.
Yes, but it is time to malama the aina and bring it back so that our children can be educated here through all of our practitioners. Because this is one of a kind of its kind of heiau. And if you look at all the maps that Kekuhuna did in regards to this place, it's incredible how they have not continued taking care of this place. And what we as Po'ekanakas, we need to continue no matter what costs.
Well, we talked about the period of time when this place was really inaccessible. One of the things that did is it prevented people from coming in and perhaps disturbing whatever might have been here. So in a way that was protected, but it is almost as though we're waiting for people to step forward and take the responsibility for opening it up again and making it a living part of the community. This is not a museum. I mean, this area has a place in our the society, our future, the future of our children.
Exactly. Auntie Kua and the rest of them that started this off back in the late 70s, my hat's off to them, because at that time of my life, I was not involved with any preservation or much of my cultural traditions. But as we grow older, we seem to see the light most of the time, and it has brought me to this place. And I mean, you cannot imagine what I go through just to come here. Mm-hmm. Make this time so that my children can and will have their turn of coming here to malama aina.
Well, I think one of the important things about special places like this is that it's a connector. The people need to feel a connectedness to the place. They need to recognize their responsibility, and at the same time, the place gives back to us. I know it's a tremendous place to be here. And actually, this area, Ke'olanahihi, is part of a larger area also.
Exactly.
from way in the past.
Exactly. There's Malu, which is across the other side there, and then there's Keakealani, which is across the street there, 19 acres there. This is 13 acres in here, and just looking at the place, you can see what we go through every Sunday that we come in here, and trying to just do what we can in that short of a time to Malama Aina.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, hopefully that the community, like you're saying, the people of this Aina comes back here and gives back to the right owners here. But until then, we just continue. I have a few men that surfers that come here, and retirees from Hawaiian Electric Company, Japanese, Chinese, Haoles. They come here, give up their time, and just do Malama Aina.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of energy and a broad cross section of the community cooperating together to make these things happen. People who come here can feel this connectivity, you know, and they don't have to be Hawaiian even. You mentioned some of our local people who have been here for generations. You know, they realize the specialness of this place. So one of the important things about one of the other large areas you mentioned, Keakealani, that compound, that was the women's area, and areas throughout this whole gathering or grouping of heiau. Behind a lot of it was the basis of education. It was educating women on how to carry out their roles in society. Down here, it was what the roles of men were, how to prepare yourself for leadership, for survival, for protection, all of those things.
Exactly.
And all of those types of educational areas are still required today.
Exactly.
So the importance of this site for the future is unbelievable. And I think I know Auntie Pua has been for a couple of years bringing classes from Hilo over here, right?
Yes. She brought in from the University of Hawaii, Hilo, and Honolulu about 400 kids at the first cleanup that we did here. Mm-hmm. And we have continued just 4 or 5 guys that come in, you know, just continue on doing it. And hopefully we could get more people involved and have this place cleaned up. And then we can move on to Keakealani, which I would like to get across the street as soon as I can.
Yeah.
But until then, we just need to finish this up and then have each practitioner come back and educate all those children on every aspect of what is in here. Because this place is enormous, how big it is, and the significance of every heiau through each practitioners, you know. Surfing heiau, the Hallelujah back there, Hale Kahununui back here. And if you have the time to look at it and really to research it, it's amazing that they have not come here and taking care of this place, you know.
Well, I know that a lot of the young people who come and get involved, and just by being here, it's almost like by osmosis, they get a feeling for the place and they get an attachment for it. Mm-hmm. And that's something that's been missing for a long time, I think, in the life of all of our people. I think, too, you mentioned sometimes some of our people who have had trouble adjusting to society and have trouble with the law, drugs. Sometimes this kind of a place is an answer for them, for the emptiness in their life.
Well, you know, every single person that has come in here has an effect. And it affected them so much that they continue to come back. Mm-hmm. And I have a little thing that I always put out to them. It's not that you have to, mm-hmm. It's that you want to.
Yeah.
And they have come in here and given me chainsaws, given me tools, and everything else I can ask for in regards to cleaning this place up. But like you said, this place has a lot of trees, a lot of invasive plants that I don't know why they brought it in here, but it's a lot of it that has to be taken out. Eventually, we'll get it out.
Yeah.
It's just step at a time, getting all the small stuff out right now, and then eventually we're going to start cutting all this big stuff. We're going to get a new chipper, a bigger chipper, or however we're going to do it. It needs to be done.
Well, we're talking so far about the effort that goes in, the type of energy and time and human effort that goes into cleaning the place to begin with. But then what happens as the cleaning gets accomplished? Then what happens? What do we see happening here in the future?
Well, my manao is it's been there from day one, and I've expressed this to everybody that my role in this is to malama aina. And as soon as I am finished with it, then it's the practitioners that have that education to give back to the children.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see this place one day be one of the biggest educational centers only for children.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever they decide across the street, whomever decides that, then that's a different thing. But to have the kids come in here inclusively to learn and educate themselves about our culture and our traditions, I'd love to see that to happen. And hopefully I'm here to see it happen.
Yeah.
I'm not planning on going to place, but every day is a new challenge.
Well, you know what you say when you say your part is to clean up.
Right.
I heard you referred to as kind of the yard man around here. You're just cleaning the place up.
Somebody has to clean the yard before we can set up the house.
Yeah.
And at this point, that's my role as part of that right now, until we can get it cleaned up and then get everybody to go across the street and start cleaning up Keakealaniwahine complex. I had never walked on the complex in my life.
You haven't, huh?
No.
Yeah.
And sometimes we look at it and they say, oh, why? And I said, well, let me use Keolanahi as an example. I've surfed out here. The first competitive surfing ever in Hawaii is right there. And I've surfed out here when I was young and never came in here. Had no cause of coming in here. There's places that's here that I don't go in. And they always ask you, why don't you go in? I said, well, my parents said, no, in LA, somebody else's property. You wait until you are asked to come.
Yeah.
And one of my workers...
Or when the time is right. And
when the time is right, and it will be. And one of my workers that come here, he asked me if I've ever been to a certain place where he lives. And I said, no. And, it's kind of shocking for people that don't understand where we come from.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I know people who are watching this who are from Hawaii can relate to that, because there are places that you go and there are places that you don't, and you don't ask why. That's the way it is until something authorizes you or moves you to do something different. That's what you do. That's your kuleana. So I can relate to that. But getting back to your role as the man who cleans up this place, who has taken that responsibility, I thought it was very appropriate for you to recognize that, in these kind of long-range projects, things evolve, And so a lot of times the people who are on the front end, who break the ground, break down all the big stuff, open it up and so forth, as that phase starts to be completed, then it's time for others to come in. You mentioned the practitioners, the educators.
The educators.
So things evolve, and so there's always a place for the different talents, and there's always going to be places to clean up when a person is moved to go or instructed or authorized to go do it. So I've seen that in the projects we were talking about this weekend on Kauai, where we've had some long-term projects, and we've seen how they've evolved, how the manpower has evolved, how the requirement for the different skills comes up, and that's what happens. But it's a natural progression. It's a natural progression. You mentioned the surfing. I think we're probably going to be able to see, our watchers or viewers will be able to see some of the maps, in images. And there's actually, you mentioned first professional surfing right out here, and there's actually grandstands that were built centuries ago because the elite enjoyed the surfing here so much.
Exactly.
And it was almost an art form, I guess.
There's Hale'olo, which is located on the far end next to the grandstand, where they built the surfboards.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's Halewa there that they built the canoes.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at a place that has everything within its own boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, we can have these people, these practitioners, or people that want to come back and give back to the kids to continue building surfboards, building the canoes here,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to work with the community.
Yeah. And refining the sports.
Yes.
Yeah. The level of competition is interesting in all of these things to watch.
Exactly.
The way that it just gets higher and higher levels, better expertise, and it seems like every generation just gets a little bit better than the previous generation. Standing on the shoulders, the ones who came before them got all the bumps and bruises before. Maybe not so much happening now. You've got a son right now who's surfing professionally, huh?
I have a son. I have 6 boys.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest one is 22 years. My youngest one is 22 months.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's a professional surfer, professional model.
Mm-hmm.
An opportunity that strikes once.
Yeah.
He's been going around the world and doing something that he always wanted to do.
Well, that's great.
So, when he's back in town, he comes back here and he gives back. Comes in here and works with his friends and try to help out as much as he can and try to introduce to the professional side of things what we or who we were.
Yeah.
And it's very important for not only his sake, but for the rest of his brothers, that we continue on giving back.
Yeah.
My family, the Kanuhas, have always been here in Kona all of our lives, and we've seen the changes. We've seen people come and people go.
Mm-hmm.
We're still here. We're still taking care.
Mm-hmm.
We're still giving.
Yeah.
We're still doing luau's and everything else. But it's again, it's a wanting thing. It's not that you have to do it.
Well, it's kind of a combination of kuleana and kokua. It's something needs to be done, so you do it. But on the other hand, there are responsibilities that we have that kind of require us to do that stuff anyway, just because of who we are.
Right.
It comes in the genes, I think, maybe the DNA.
I think so. Because every time we turn around, we're doing something for somebody else. And, but it's all good.
Sure.
Kaiko, it's all good.
Well, you mentioned your one son who's traveling. There's one thing about Kanaka. I mean, they're travelers.
Travelers.
World travelers.
Yes.
The fortunate ones get to come back.
Yes.
Some get away and never get back, and that can be problematic for them. I know a lot of folks. I bump into a lot of Kanakas around the world, and they're all missing home. And so I said, well, sometimes when you get up to a certain age, then you can come back. And I think that's what a lot of them do. You mentioned how early on you never came here. You were wrapped up in other things.
Right.
You probably weren't, real close to the culture, but that's kind of what happens during your life course. You get wound up trying to make a living, make ends meet, having a life, raising a family, and you have to get to a certain point to where you can actually stand up and look around and really take a mature look at what's around and what your place is.
Well, the Pupunas have had a great deal of everything in my life. I've learned a lot from them about places and things, and they've learned a lot from me. As I was growing up here, I became a professional spear fisherman. I supported my family that way. But in my younger days, it was not that. It was about sharing and giving. Money was no thing in our minds. Because we had a roof over our heads, we had a big ohana, and we ate well.
Yeah, your needs were met. Yeah, or you met your needs.
Yeah. So it's like I said, it's all good. If we only can get the rest of our Kanakas to stand up and say, you know what, I need to go down there and malamaaina with brother and continue doing this so that their children's children one of these days will be here, and knowing that their grandfather was part of this. And that's what we look, it's not getting a medal for it, it's just knowing that you were part of it. And it's all good for, a lot of people, because we need to continue doing that to help the unborn and do it for the unborn, so it's all in place.
Well, a big part of the mission of our Voices of Truth series is to look at the positive things that are going on in the Hawaiian communities, because there are a lot of people who don't see positive stuff. All they see is a negative. And if you can imagine people living in downtown Honolulu who have no connection to maybe their family, have no connection maybe to nature, can be kind of isolating, And so what we're trying to do is motivate people to realize there are people like you, many other people in all different walks of society who are finding their kuleana and doing their job, and that those who are sitting home watching TV with all frustrated and depressed, you've got to open their eyes, stand up, and go find something to do,
Exactly. I mean, the world is out there, and being a Kanaka, and you can do it from England or from North Carolina or from LA. It's part of doing. And be proud of who you are, because I tell you, I am proud of who I am, and I continue to be proud of who I am and my children, because they are fortunate enough that they get to travel and see the rest of the world. And it's just by hard work and achieving your goals.
Sometimes you have to go away to appreciate how much you've got right here,
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes you bring back skills that can help make things better here at home too.
Well, I reference on something in regards to the trail up there at Halokomauka, and during my travels on the Greek islands up in Rome and all of those areas, I just couldn't understand that Hawaii was the only place that you move the trail, not the development, and it really hurt me because I look at it in a so positive manner that, if there's an old trail there, we need to move your development. And just continue making it right. Because it was there before anything else.
Yeah, we need to make our outside developers understand that there are a different set of priorities here. And it's not just steamroller everything, scrape the ground clean and create another parking lot.
Exactly.
Well, what do you see coming up in the near future? I know you've got your work days here, you're handling the cruise here. Looking forward maybe to getting across the street at some point when you get this manageable. You mentioned something about a big canoe race coming up. You folks are involved with
well, we just got
this weekend,
through with the Liliuokalani canoe race, and here comes my number 6 boy.
Oh boy!
Okay, come on. Okay. And the biggest international canoe race in the world, and you have to put up with everything that comes with it. And it's sad that people don't look at it on a more positive base. They look at it as a negative base because you're looking at 138 women that came in here, 129 men's crews. That's a lot of people. The town here of Kona and the hotels of Kona, they made a lot of money because of that one international race.
Right.
And what we should do, and if this my on that, is the state of Hawaii and all the county and whoever is involved with the government here, they should be out there lending a hand to make sure that this race continues.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at an economic package, and if it disappears, you're looking at a lot of revenues that will be lost.
Yeah. So many of these great events come about because a couple of individuals make them happen, and yet look at the benefit to these huge to the community, the big income producing. This is just about winding up our time for this segment, Junior. We appreciate you very much spending this time with us, coming down and showing us around. We're going to drop in some photos that people can see what this looks like here, the beauty of this place. They've been watching the surf with us, I know, behind us and listening to it. And we just say that you folks are fortunate, as are we, through the modern technology of television, that you can come here to Kealonahihi and spend a morning on a beautiful day with Junior Kanuha. Junior, mahalo nui. Thank you so much. Keep up the good work.
Mahalo nui, dear Kaiapua.
And to all of you out there, thank you very much. Look for our next Voices of Truth segment. This is Kaiapua 5 for the Kiwani Foundation. Mahalo and a hui ho.